Okay, we will move on to our reorganizational meeting, resolution number 1, with the election of the board chairman and vice chairman. And I'll ask for a motion.
I would like to make a motion for myself to be chair, just for being senior and being vice chair currently.
Do I have a second on that motion? Okay, there's no second on that motion, so that one will die. I will ask for another motion.
I make a motion we have Judy Clark be our supervisor.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
We'll do a roll call vote. Clark,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Mayor.
No.
Okay, so at this point, Chairman Clark will take over the meeting.
Okay. I need a motion to, for vice chairman. I'll move that Brian Rogers be vice chairman. Brian?
Is there a second?
No second.
No second. Okay. So that motion will die.
I make a motion Todd be the vice chair.
I'll second that.
Okay, we'll do a roll call vote on that. Clark,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
Okay. Looks like Todd is vice chairman. Okay, so we'll move on to the next item. So the next item would be, the second resolution would be that the execution of leases and deeds of conveyance. This is a normal resolution. That the chairman of the Board of Supervisors is hereby appointed to purchase the property, execute and not acknowledge for and on behalf of the county all deeds and conveyance and leases, which said instruments when issued and executed shall be approved by the Board of Supervisors under Section 569.7 Code of Iowa for the year 2025. The vice chairman or other board member may sign in the absence of the chairman. May I have a motion on that, please?
Make a motion that we approve execution of leases and deeds of conveyance.
Okay, can I have a second?
Make a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion approved. On resolution number 3, authorize auditor to issue checks. This is a normal resolution. May I have an approval on that, please?
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number 3, authorizing auditor to issue checks.
I have a second.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Auditor, motion on number 4. The assessor be authorized to mail homestead and military and family farm exemption forms.
So moved. On number 4, assessor authorized to mail homestead and military and family farm exemption forms.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. A motion on number 5, the county holidays. These are the same as normal. New Year's, President's, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Veterans, Thanksgiving, and the day after, Christmas Eve and Christmas. May I have a motion on that, please?
I make a motion we designate county holidays for 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. May I have a motion on resolution number 6, that there will be no dog licenses issued and no fee charged?
I make a motion on no dog license fees.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Motion resolution number 7, that the Southwest Iowa Herald be designated as the published newspaper in Clarinda and Shenandoah area.
Make a motion that number 7 passes, designate an official newspaper.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Resolution number 8, the construction evaluation resolution. This is a normal resolution that we pass every year. Could I have a motion on that, please?
I make a motion we pass number 8, construction evaluation resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. And this will be passed on. The auditor will then notify the DNR that that has been passed. Okay, and resolution number 9. This is the supervisor assignments to other boards. There have been some changes. And have you got a copy of this, Todd and Brian?
Yeah.
Okay. Because of some differences in jobs and things, I'm going to do the 4th Judicial Correction, District Department of Correction, which Jacob had. I'll continue with the Interagency Council. Brian would be the Hungry Canyons, which is normally the rural person. The Southwest Iowa Juvenile Emergency Services, I would take. The 911, Todd would continue. The Enterprise Zone is Brian. Page County Landfill is Brian, which would be, again, the rural. Los Hills would be Brian. The Loss Control Coordinator is normally the chairman. Regional RPA is Todd. Southwest Iowa Planning is Todd. Wabansie, I've been on. West Central is Todd, and Zion is Todd. Is that okay with everyone?
Yep.
Okay. May I have a motion on that, please?
I'll make a motion that resolution 9 passes for the supervisor's duties.
Second on that. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. Okay. All right, all the motions are carried. Now we'll move on to public comment. Is there any public comment this morning?
Good morning.
Good morning.
How is everybody?
Fine, would you state your name?
Great morning.
please?
We dodged a little snow this morning. I didn't get called out on my last morning. Wonderful day, isn't it?
Would you state your name, please?
Lyle Palmer,
Thank you.
citizen.
Citizen.
That takes a new tone to me, but I'm very happy to be there.
Nice to have you, Lyle Palmer.
Very good. I hope that 2025 is a little different than 2024. I know that our county had a lot of things in 2024 that didn't quite go the way we all thought they should, no matter what the issue was, whether it was jail, whether it was the wind turbines, with whatever the settlement was, with everything else, solar, anything else that happened in this county. But what I want to remind you three of is it is an entire county. We have a lot of things coming up here. And I hope this board, and I know there's only one new member, but I hope this board can be respectful to each other, no matter what the issues are, because the public sees that. And it's hard when you're very adamant about something. I know I've been on the other side of that. But when you're very adamant about something and you don't believe that it's the right thing, but other people do, it's very hard to control your emotions. And I would just ask that the three of you control your emotions and control your meetings so that they don't get out of hand and they're not disrespectful to not only the citizens, but to this county. Throughout the last year, 2 years actually, I have gone to different meetings throughout the state, and I have heard from other sheriffs, other members of law enforcement. There have been several terms that I won't quote about what our meetings take place, but I would ask that you be very professional and respect the citizens, yourselves, and the people talking. And I would hope that the people speaking could do the same to the three of you, as well as everything else that's going on to the topic or to the other people. There's rules that we have to follow in these meetings, and I would ask that you very well follow them. That's all I have to say. Good luck. I hope that this board does a very, very good job. I know the last couple of years have been a little difficult with things for me, trying to get things through. Good luck to you and to your, I understand there's no comp board, so I would hope that you three can make the decision on the elected official salaries as well as the rest of the county employees' salaries and be very fair in those. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Lyle.
Thanks for your
Thank you for your
service.
service.
Yep.
We appreciate everything that you've done over the last number of years, many, many years. Is there any other public comment? Okay. JD?
Good morning, J.D. King, Page County Engineer. It's a fine day in Page County. Once again, we didn't go out pushing snow. The engineer update went out Tuesday afternoon and was based on Monday and Tuesday work. We are in weather-dependent operations from now till winter ceases. So right now we have no blades out, we have no trucks out. We were burning brush piles in the rain earlier in the week. Right now we're cutting trees with various crews, various locations. We're also doing culvert inventory with a couple of crews when the weather's suitable, and I saw them with their automation, electronics in the engineer's office this morning, updating our culvert inventory throughout the county. Still work going on in the shop. Motor grader number 7 was worked on earlier in the week. It's gone out of the shop back to its district. Number 30 is down off the jacks. I'm sure they're going to take it for a test run to see how the steering is. We have several more wings to mount on plow trucks. And our new loader is faster to load mixed material than the old one, which will make a difference when we're pushing snow. Work on the Essex North Bridge has been halted for the holidays. We anticipate them returning to work on the 6th, next Monday. Of course, that's weather dependent also. We'll see. So we're doing various project paperwork at the office, which is part of the next agenda item. But my last update part is I'm working on the fiscal year 26 county budget, and with that the DOT budget also, but I don't have all the numbers that I need quite yet. I'm still looking for insurance costs increases and any possible wage increases. I'm certain that as soon as those are known, they'll be sent over to me or to us at the engineer's office. Questions about the engineer's update? Could Turn to the next item then on the agenda, signature on BRS Perrin 145. It's the bridge on 190th Street that was done. We need a signature from the chairman on the final voucher. And I have the form here, Judy.
Do you need a motion to approve the voucher?
Yes.
I'll move that we approve the voucher for the final voucher for the project BRS-C073.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Judy, I have the form here.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, JD. Next up, we have Samuel's group.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sid. Thank you.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, we came in and we told you we'd be back to give you an update in regards to continued progress with the jail. As you'll notice, the numbers have not changed. Part of it is the holiday. The other part of it is we've kind of exhausted the contractors at this point for additional value engineering items. And we need to get into some engineering in regards to that potential credit that we would receive on the natural gas line. If you recall, that was $150,000. So I wanted to report that. So right now we're showing a recorded overage of about $841,691. That includes that contingency of $478,000, leaving us with, we want to keep that contingency. We can't really get into a construction project without some type of a contingency there. But as you recall, those funds that are not used go back into or would go back towards the bond and the referendum. So we're really at that point where we have to make a decision here, because I have to either reject the bids or accept them. So I've given you a second sheet. Depending on how the discussion goes, we can continue to follow that. But we are in an overage position. We could do a couple of things that would help reduce that overage. If you choose to, one would be the food and laundry service equipment. As we had talked previously, we did not have to let that, nor did we originally plan on putting all of that in there. So we could reduce that by $233,000. The other thing would be holding off on that FF&E budget line item 125. So we wouldn't be awarding that today anyhow. That is just simply a budget holder. But between the two of those, that equals $358,500, leaving us with an overage of $483,000, which is right at that contingency item. So really what I need is some guidance from you in regards to what you would like to do from a decision. I can award the food service. We can wait to award that food service, but we really do need to make some decisions on those other contracts. There is some potential savings yet to be had, but I can't really get any further with them until I get these contracts released with them. Our recommendation would be to get the bond sold, as we had mentioned last time, because I think there's some additional interest income that could be gained from that. And in doing so, that would help reduce the overage as well. So I think there's still room to make this go down, but we need to continue to move it forward. I can't make it go down any further than it is today without taking the next step. So questions in regards to that? I know, Brian, you're new to this, so I'm not sure how much you've followed or didn't follow. So I'm here to answer any of those questions for you, or Todd, if you've got any more questions.
Well, and I was just thinking about this. Would there be an option to, and it's not probably going to be a popular option, but I know we've spent, or it upped the cost by having the dispatcher piece of that. We had to do a lot of special stuff for that to be a secured location or something. Would that be something that we could keep where it's at today and look at that, adding that on later to the project, and maybe that would bring our costs down to where you just have the sheriff's department and the jail at one location, and then look at bringing the dispatchers later.
I know that we've looked at that in the past, because if you recall, we had an original design and we moved the design around. I'm not sure if that's me or.
A squeal somewhere.
Yeah. There.
There.
Okay. We looked at doing that before, about moving that out. It sounded like that building at pretty much where they're currently housed is pretty much exhausted as far as that location. Right now, the way it's been designed, you potentially could take it off, but it'd be a lot of redesign work in addition to what we're already doing. So I don't know from a credit perspective. The other concern I have is by slowing it down any further than we have. I'm concerned, if you recall, I think it was a meeting last time or the time before, where we were asking the contractors to hold their numbers, and we were getting some pushback because January 1 is the increase in some of these equipment providers. So my concern is that if we release those, if we don't accept them, we have the potential of either them not coming back to rebid, or we have the potential increase based off of their suppliers. It's things that they don't have control of, which I think that we will incur. So I don't know. Yes, I think you could do it. I don't know if we get the full benefit of what we really want to get out of it.
I guess my biggest concern is, we're going to be, even with what we're talking about taking over, I think you said we're still 483.
Yep.
And that would fall under the contingency of 478. But, we haven't started any construction yet. And then also, we get a new building, we get a new jail. There's things that have to go into it. There's things that, furniture, stuff that we're going to have to come up with money for. And it would be nice if we could keep it, under that bonded amount. Also, one thing that probably hasn't been talked a lot about is our insurance on the building and stuff. I don't know, how much that's going to go up, what that looks like, because we really haven't spent much time talking about that. So I guess that's where my concern is. I don't want us to go, I just don't know where we're going to come up with, if we run into an issue that eats away at that 478 contingency. We're going to be struggling to try to find money to come up with stuff, and I don't know where that money's going to come from.
Well, that's why we're here, is this is as lean and mean as we can get it. If you recall, we talked about reducing the size of the building. We've really sliced and diced this, as you know, because we've been here quite a few times, to help mitigate some of those overages. We're down to state minimums. We're not, there isn't a lot of fluff in that floor plan, so redesigning it really isn't going to gain us anything in regards to dollars and cents. I think it's more of working with those contractors and seeing if we could find additional savings. I think there's, if the county has additional funds somewhere, I don't know. And we also have the interest income that we can continue to work on to help reduce some of that obligation.
I think you have mentioned that if we can go ahead and do these contracts, that you can maybe get some of these figures down a little bit, Sid.
We've talked to the electrical and mechanical, both in regards to value engineering, and they said they just, they're kind of at a point where they're stopping and they have to stop. And then as they continue on through procurement of equipment, things like that, they feel there could be some potential savings. I mean, nothing is guaranteed at this point, but doesn't mean that we won't continue to push on that. I think we've moved the needle quite a ways. I think we just need to continue to push.
I think the people of Page County have spoken that they want the jail. And we do have, we had some forethought put into it, and we had local option tax money put back. There was some forethought put into it, and there is money in local option tax. The breakdown of local option tax, and I was sitting here trying to remember, 40% property tax relief, 40% community betterment, and 20% infrastructure. The jail fits all three of those categories. We actually have money in there to cover what we need for this, if necessary.
Okay.
So if the board chooses to do this, we can move forward. And I did speak to Maggie Berger about selling the bonds, the rest of the bonds that need to be done, because we knew that they needed to be done. So I did reach out to her about selling the bonds that needed to be done, in case we needed to move forward with that. And she was already thinking that they needed to be done in the new year. So anyway, if the board chooses to move forward with this, we knew that we had the jail in the process, and we knew that there was going to be money in local option tax. So if we want to use it for that, we can.
When you say you have that covered, do you have the 483 covered or the 841 covered?
Close to the 841.
Okay. So, again, you don't need to release the furniture budget at all. That's just a line item. But the question I would have, I guess I have two questions. One is, can we release these contracts? And the third one would be is, do you feel we can release the food service based off the information that you have? If you have funds available to do it, I would suggest it, because I don't think anything's going to be going down. So that is totally up to you, but at a minimum, I would if you can, I would like to see released everything but food service. If you can, I would release that as well, because that's stainless steel and that is going to continue to go up. It's not going to go down. So
I was thinking about the food service part of it, you know, we can, there's options there.
yep.
To do that outside. If you do have internal food service, and you're gonna have to hire a dietitian and things, and that's a little bit more money.
And if you recall, all the plumbing and everything is included in the plumbing number, the electrical number, so it's basically bringing all of that right to that piece of equipment, and then as you would buy that piece of equipment, you could
Do this later, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would be for, eliminating that piece of it. Just to save us that $233,000,
And we can rebid that at a later date.
yeah.
Yeah.
If everybody else is on board. I mean, it'd be nice to have a little bit of fluff there.
Right.
And I know
Exactly.
you said we could cover that, but if we
It's
don't
also-
have to.
I agree.
Okay.
It's also something you could purchase later in
Yes.
the, same with that furniture, if we see that we're running heavy on the contingency, do we save some of that, existing furniture? What do? We can make some of those decisions as we go. So with that said, my recommendation would be, the second sheet that I gave you. You have bid categories 3B, 6, 7A, 22 and 23, and bid category 26. You will see the contractors over there to the right. Right of that is their original bid day. So what we would do is write them a contract for their original bid day. We would get that in process so that we can continue to work with them. And then we would write a deductive change order as we had talked about. And then we would present that for both of those for signature for each of those contractors. Okay?
And
Any-
so what we would need to do is motion to approve
The ones that I
the
mentioned.
the ones and not the 11B.
Right,
for
I
food service,
excluded.
we'd leave that out.
Yeah, if I excluded that, if that's what you'd like to do.
Okay. I guess I would make a motion that we do 3B, 6, 7A, 22 and 23, and 26 on the bid category.
You made a motion?
Yeah, and exclude the 11B.
Okay, do I have a second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
All right, so what we'll do is we'll get those contracts rolling for those contractors. I think when we bring those change orders in as well, I think that's when Jeff can work with you and just say, this is what we're doing in this particular category. So here's what the original scope was, here are those items that we took in value engineering, so you understand that before you make that signature. Okay?
Okay.
okay,
Again, it's all been ran through with Tony, it's been ran through the designers. Everybody's looked at it, but I still want you to understand what it is that they're looking at taking out to reduce that scope. All right?
okay.
Well, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Yes. Okay. Okay, moving on to our next item, number 9, assignment policy for in-person and Zoom. When we have people coming into our meeting, we ask that they sign in at the back of the room. It looks like, I'm sorry, Corey, it looks like people are frustrated that we're having a problem with the sound. Okay. Anyway, and the same is true when people are signing on Zoom. When I'm looking at people that are on here on Zoom, we have people that are signed on with iPhone. They're signed on with their phone numbers. They're signed on with their initials. They're signed on with their first name. They're signed on as guest. We're going to ask in the from now on that you sign on with your full name, just as you would if you're here in the room. Our county attorney was going to have a policy drawn up today, but he came down with COVID, and so that policy isn't ready for today. So hopefully next week we'll have that. But it's just as if you're here in the room, we're asking that you'll sign in with your name, so that we'll know who's on Zoom. And we can record that on our minutes, just as if you're here in the room with us. I don't think that's asking too much. I think it's just, just like you're here in person. And I think that's, something that should be done. It should. And if anybody has a problem with that, you can let me know. But I think it's a public meeting, and I think you should be signing in with your name. So anyway, we'll be addressing that in the future. So the next item, do you guys have any discussion on that?
No, I do know that I think other meetings that are done for Zoom in other counties, I think they have the same policy.
Yeah.
So I know that's been brought up.
Yeah.
And it's just like being here. I agree with you. It's, we should be able to, if somebody has a question, you should know who's asking it.
Right.
Thanks.
And I noticed the other day when I signed in on Zoom on our Monday meeting that there is a place where you put your name. So it's not a problem. It's not an issue. But I see that we have 1, 2, 3 people as guests today. We have one person as iPhone. We have somebody iPhone. We have a person with their first name. So I don't think it's a problem. And then we have some people that have their full name on here, and I think that's great. We have a couple people with their initials. We have somebody with phone 712. So I think it's really important that we know who's on there watching us and, anyway, so we'll discuss that later.
Can I make a comment?
We're gonna try to hold comments to the beginning of the meeting, Angie. But go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, if we go look at that right now, I don't think anybody's signed it.
Okay, well, we're gonna ask people to sign in, yeah.
But there's nobody to enforce it.
Right.
And my second thing is I could be on vacation and not sign into Zoom, and somebody could put I'm on Zoom. So I actually prefer that there's, like, I guess I don't understand, because you can't say that somebody's impersonating you or not on Zoom. So, I mean, I could sign in today, I could sign in right now and say that I'm Judy Clark. You could be on vacation, not even anywhere near the meeting, because there's no way to actually know who's saying they are.
Okay. But I still, we're gonna try to ask people anyway to sign in. So, whatever. We'll try to hold people to it. Anyway, okay. Okay, the next one is public comment time limit. Right now we say, public comment, suggested time of 5 minutes or less. And I think that's okay as long as we're doing okay. Is that all right with you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think 5 minutes is plenty.
And we're not gonna have it
We
during the
don't
meeting
really,
time.
we've never really enforced it
Right.
as far as, I mean, I think sometimes, I think that there probably is a time when you could enforce it. There's times when you probably
Mhm.
need to have further discussion. And I think that just needs to be a judgment call
Right,
from the chair. And the
Right.
chair can voice that when things are not progressing
right.
in the comments. But yeah, I mean, I think 5 minutes is a good time amount.
Okay. And at this time, I think public comment is just at the beginning of the meeting and not during the meeting.
Okay.
So,
So are you not wanting to have any discussion when we
No.
get to an item?
no. Normal business meetings, it's at the beginning of the meeting. Not during the meeting, because it's not a conversation time.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I mean, we can talk about that later, but we can see. We can see what you,
Are you, well, yeah, I mean, I like I guess the opportunity if somebody has something to say for that particular topic and it comes up, because sometimes you don't know how the board what we're going to talk about during that topic. If, if you do it all at the beginning, and I get what you're saying. If you do it all at the beginning, then they might say stuff and then realize that, oh, the board's going a different direction, but now, I might want to say something else. I do like the fact that, they could, because we are doing their business, and the decisions that we make impact them, the citizens. So I would just hope that we don't stifle that too much.
but too often it's become a back and forth thing.
Right, I don't think it needs
Yeah.
to be that. It doesn't.
Right.
It doesn't need to be a debate.
Right,
It could be,
Right.
hey, I just have a quick comment,
okay,
and then sit down.
we can see,
Or
yeah.
And again, I don't want to stifle anybody's.
We can see how it goes.
Okay.
Okay, all right, okay. Number 10, meeting day and time. I would like to see, my own personal thing is, I would like to see us going back to Tuesday, because the ISAC meetings are Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and I would like to see us going back to Tuesday, if that's at all possible. I don't know how Brian feels about it.
I don't have a day preference.
Okay.
I'm done with the fire department. I retired, so.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
After 21 years.
Oh, you're done, okay. Yeah,
Um,
I would really like to
but-
go back to Tuesday.
But we could do Tuesday.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
I would like to see night meetings kind of continue, or at least have some compromise there.
I would like to go back to earlier, like maybe a 3:30.
3:30 or 4.
That sounds wonderful.
I would be for that
Okay,
if we could do that.
Could we go
that
to-
would- I mean, I think that would help both of our jobs. I think.
okay. Can we go to Tuesday at 3:30?
Yeah, I mean, would there be? So you don't want to have any night meetings at all? after,
I prefer not to.
because I think there's some people that would like to come still to night meetings.
I think that's night enough. That way we can kind of get our elected officials here. If we have it at 3:30, will that help?
Is there, is there a way to compromise to go to 4 o'clock meeting?
I suppose we could. Yeah,
That would, okay,
Tuesday at 4.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, Tuesday at 4. Okay,
Do you need a motion on that?
sure.
Okay. I'd make a motion that our meetings become Tuesdays at 4 o'clock.
Second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. All right. And our number 12, we received a letter from SWPCO that asked that we appoint a second, just cut off Cindy, a second representative to SWPCO, and AJ Lyman is our second representative.
Yep.
And I would ask for a motion to represent, or to
Yeah.
appoint him.
I'd make a motion that we appoint AJ Lyman. He's done a good job on there.
Okay.
So,
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
aye.
All right, okay. Motion carried. Okay. Board communication.
We had a EMA, E911 meeting. Judy attended they're starting to work on their budget and going through that, so there's some things that have come up that we're gonna have to address. I think there's some solutions there that we can address, and I'm not too worried about it, but it's some big things. That's really all I've had since the holidays. There's not any meetings. I would tell Brian, like, go through that list and meetings that you have, and try to get some email contacts so that you can find out when your meetings are. 'Cause I think that was my biggest thing when I started was, oh no, I have all these meetings now that also take place, and most of them are very good about zooming in, so you don't have to travel a lot. You can zoom to some of the meetings, but I do, like, my SWPCO and my West Central meetings are usually in Atlantic and Des Moines, or Atlantic and Harlan, and so most of the times I zoom into those, so that's an option for you if you can swing that, and you don't have to travel so much, but
And I did talk to Juvenile Court Services to see if I could Zoom, because I didn't want to,
oh,
if the weather's bad,
yeah, go to council.
to go to council.
That's a little bit of a jaunt.
So, yeah, I did talk to Melissa up there, and she said, yes, I could Zoom in, so
Okay.
that's good, so,
Yeah.
yeah. And I didn't mean to step on your toes the other night. Summer had asked me if I would come, because she'd asked me to meet, and we talked about her budget, and so, anyway, it was very interesting to come to the meeting and talk about the towers and the, and to have some input from Lyle as far as the generator and figure out what was going on there, so, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, okay.
Do we have any claims? Or we?
There are no claims,
No
right?
claims?
No claims.
No claim. Good.
Okay. Cindy, there's nothing, there's just resolutions to sign in here. Okay. So no claims. Meeting minutes. Okay, I have some things on the minutes. IPIP really doesn't have anything to say about our minutes. They really don't. And I'm having a hard time with the minutes because the format of the minutes is taking up way too much space.
I would say it's less space than having every conversation in there.
Yeah, but we don't need the headings. We don't need the call to order. We don't need the approved agenda. We don't need the Pledge of Allegiance. If we just take out the headings and just have the sentences in there and run them together, that's gonna take far less space. And then I would be happy.
Okay.
I would be happy with that. If that would be,
So take out.
Take out the headings.
The headings, I can take those out.
Yeah.
Because I had some other examples from other counties where but they left a space in between each item.
No.
So that you could see each item.
No.
Differently.
no. I don't think we need any of that because that just costs more money to publish. And we don't need to pay any more
Well, I was-
publication fee that we need.
Okay. Yeah, I took out
I
the
think-
spaces for publication, but
No.
I can,
I mean, if you run it all together, then it just looks like it's not broken out. I mean, I agree, like, we didn't need all the headings, I get
I can-
that.
yeah.
But I would think that the publication is going to put spacing in there anyway to decipher between topics somehow. Or it's just gonna all
Well-
run together.
Yeah, I think that's fine as long as you, yeah.
How about we compromise a little bit?
You
So-
can compromise a little bit, but
We
I
can
just
take the
don't
headings?
think, yeah, I think, yeah. And it's, and note, we don't need to do roll call votes anymore either. I mean, there's no need for roll call votes.
okay.
We can do them unanimously like we did today. And,
What if there is a two?
well, unless we
if
have
there's
a
2-1?
contentious thing, yeah.
If it's not.
Yeah,
if it's-
but as
okay.
long as it's, like today, it was, most of them were unanimous, so yeah.
Okay.
And we don't need to put the entire meeting can be viewed on that doesn't need to be in there. Because everything's there, so you don't need that last sentence in there.
So the auditor, but we've had this argument forever, that the auditor has the right to do the formatting. Has that changed?
Well, it just depends. You said, you know, basically you want the board to have the say in whatever. So I'm thinking of the publication fees. What we have to pay in the paper.
So that's,
So-
we've paid huge publication fees when all the communication was in there,
Well, but we haven't.
and you never scoffed at that.
No, I'm not saying we shouldn't have communication in there. I'm just saying we don't need all of this we don't need all of the headlines.
Yeah, I'm
Not in
good
there.
with not having the headers.
And I truly believe that we need to say who is in attendance or who is here. You know, who is on Zoom or who is in attendance. We can discuss that later, but anyway.
Yeah, I would be open to having that
Yeah.
listed somewhere.
Yeah.
Just so you know who
I
was
think
at
we
the
know
meetings.
who was in attendance, yeah. So, and I don't think we need to, I don't think we need to put the 112 East Main Clarinda, Iowa in there either. I just think that the Page County Courthouse is plenty. Yeah.
Well, what now? You don't need to.
I think we just need to say that we met in the Page Room at the courthouse. I don't think we need the 112 East Main Clarinda, Iowa.
Okay.
I think Page County Courthouse is fine. So,
Well, as long as that doesn't violate anything, because I think
it doesn't violate
I
anything.
think it tells you that you have to have the place and location and time.
The pace,
So I don't know if you
the
have-
time is there at 9 o'clock in the Page
Right.
Room at the courthouse.
Okay.
Yeah. You're reading things into IPIP, Todd, that aren't there.
Okay.
You're reading things into that. They're not telling you what has to be in the minutes. So, anyway. But anyway, okay. So, and I think we can get to the point where we can read the minutes at the end of the meeting and approve them so that we can get them to the paper for the next week.
Okay.
So anyway, okay. So do we want to approve the minutes
Yeah.
for the last
Yeah,
meeting?
Yeah, I would make a motion that we approve the minutes for December 30th.
You have a second?
I abstained, I wasn't there.
Oh, okay, I'll approve them. I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, pass and approve. Okay. Okay, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, at 9:56.